against the Fighting Fish of Florida.
Cameron Maben's ready to go. Shortening up and taking the first pitch for ball one. C.B. Buckner, the home plate umpire. 3-0-2 for Cameron Maben. 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. He's second in the league in runs scored at 15. Paulino missing there. Falls behind him. 2 balls, no strikes. Maben with 6 hits on the Marlins road trip in 21 at bats. He had scored a run in 9 straight games over one stretch. Dave Collins, the first base coach and outfield coach, works very closely with Cameron Maben. And Dave was saying Cameron was a tremendous basketball player in high school, and he probably could have played NBA basketball had he pursued that sport. Tap a shortstop. Manzella takes care of out number 1.
Well, let's take a look at the Astros defensively this evening. In their green caps, Lee Bourne and Pence cover the outfield. Infield, it's got Blum in there tonight at third base with Manzella on the left side, Matsui and Berkman on the right. Quintero catches Paulino. Big inning problems for Felipe. He's allowed 9 runs in his 2 starts. 7 of those have come in 2 innings. So a 3-run inning in that first game, and then last time out, he was really pitching well and allowed just 1 run through 6 innings, but gave up 4 in the 7th without getting an out in Chicago.
Chris Coghlan fouls it. There's strike 1 to the left fielder, hitting 130 with 2 runs batted in. Last year's Rookie of the Year, trying to stay away from a sophomore jinx after a .321 average came his way in 09.
So you're talking about Maben in his basketball. His cousin is in the NBA, right? McCants?
Yeah.
Jordan McCants.
Yeah. He is a whale of an athlete.
He's got another cousin in the NFL.
2 balls and a strike. The Marlins with some very fine young players. Coghlan is 24. And fouls that one back. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Astros playing very well against Florida in this series and dating back a ways. They're 22-11 here at Minute Maid Park against the Marlins. They've won 12 of their last 15 here from Florida. Marlins had won 2 of 3 at Philadelphia. This is the first series they have lost all season. On Earth Day tonight. Special green caps. It was a very busy day for the Astros in the community, not only with Earth Day, but also a Grand Slam for Youth baseball field dedication.
This is interesting. It's Earth Day, but we have one team who lives in the ocean and the other team lives in outer space. How ironic is that?
They are thinking green. It's a new hybrid green cap this year with the white trim. Very nice.
They're doubling up.
Yes, he is. I'll take one home to a friend. Bounce foul. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. You mentioned Paulino in that last start in the big inning, and looking at pitching lines, he gave up 5 earned runs in 6 innings, but when he left the game, the bases were loaded. All those 3 runners later scored and were charged to that pitching line, of course. 107 pitches for Paulino in that game against the Cubs. A loss.
Yeah, so, if you're Brad Mills, are you tempted if Paulino gives you another 6 solid innings tonight just to get him out of there, to try to build some confidence? If he gives you 6 innings of 2-run baseball, even though his pitch count might not be too high and he looks fresh, you might be tempted. Let's get him out of there and turn it over to the pen. The flip side of that, of course, is the pen now. Brandon Lyons thrown 3 games in a row, as is Matt Lindstrom.
Well, that was the interesting part of the manager's pregame meeting with the media, which is a daily affair. And someone asked Brad Mills, how do you stand with Lindstrom tonight for your closer? He's closed the last 4 games. There was a day off in there. He said, I would like to give him a rest. I'd like to give Lyon a rest, too. Coghlan takes a 1-out walk. But that was, early in the afternoon, so to speak, and he was going to visit with both pitchers later on and see how they felt.
Have a couple of those, you'll really be playing green. The relief pitcher.
Paulino takes a look over at Coghlan, who's 3 for 3 in steals, before turning his attention to Hanley Ramirez. 305 for Ramirez, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in, and he is worthy of a pitcher's full attention the way he hits. 1 for 8 in this series with an RBI. He leads all major league shortstops in homers since 2006 with 104. Humberto Quintero out to talk it over with his workout partner over the winter. They were here early morning on a daily basis to get in shape, prepare for the season. Paulino put an awful lot into this preparation over the winter for this year. He went to general manager Ed Wade after a disappointing season last year and just asked for another chance.
He was going to get another chance anyway with that right arm. He's going to get a lot of chances.
Cantu on deck. Quintero hoping for a double play ball here off the bat of Ramirez, who's hitting .404 lifetime against the Astros. It's 1-1. Marlins have scored 77 runs in their first 15 games. They lost 5-4 last night, and they lost 7-5 in the opener Tuesday night. Line to right field. Hunter Pence charging. Coghlan to second, and turning there, he holds. Throw goes into Manzella. And Ramirez singles. First and second, one out for Cantu.
Previous pitch was a fastball in the outside corner and down. They go back out there. Very similar pitch. And Ramirez looking that way. Does a nice job of not getting too greedy, trying to do too much of that. Just pinging it to right field.
The torrid cleanup man, Jorge Cantu, has opened on a 15-game hitting streak in his club's first 15 games. .300 batting average, 4 homers. The 18 runs batted in ranked second in the National League. Cantu looks at that one for ball one. The 28-year-old infielder, 3 for 8 in this series with a homer in the opener off Brett Myers. He had at least a hit and an RBI in each of the first 10 games to start the season. That's a new major league record. Big cut there, and it's 1-1. He was doing an interview with some writers before the game last night in the Marlins clubhouse, and talking about the streak, and he said, I really just want to make solid contact. It's 2-1. A fan down below us called that one a strike.
Last night's strike zone was very tight. We're talking to members of both teams. Kerwin Daly, the home plate umpire. He was consistent. Can't say he umpired a bad game, but it was a hitter's zone last night.
Upstairs, and it's 3-1 to Cantu with Ugla on deck. Paulino last year walked 37 in 97 innings. Struck out 93, gave up 126 hits, and wound up with an ERA of 6.27 and a 3-11 record. Hit hard into left field. Stop sign at third base. The ball gets by Carlos Lee. Coghlan now scores easily. Ramirez is being waved home. And Lee, failing to come up with that single, allows Cantu to get to second and the Marlins to lead 2-0. The single for Cantu, taking his hitting streak to 16 games. No RBI because the runner had been stopped by the third base coach, Joey Espada.
And that's the real tough thing about that. Carlos taking a peek here, I think, to see if he was going to have a play at home plate. And Espada wasn't sending the runner anyway.
Second error by Lee.
No, he wasn't peeking. He just missed it. Yeah, maybe took a glance.
Now 2-0 lead. And it's Dan Ugla batting. And strike one to Ugla. .339 is his average, including 3 homers, 9 runs batted in for Dan. He moved by Gary Sheffield into 4th place on the Marlins all-time home run list. He leads all major league second basemen since 2006 in long balls. Cantu dancing off second. He attracts some attention. .124 homers. Mike Lowell is the leader. Then it's Miguel Cabrera. So they are well within reach for Dan Uggla. Should he stick around for a while and stay healthy? The runner breaks for third on the pitch in the dirt that trickles away to Quintero's right. And that's a wild pitch. First of the year for Paulino.
You're not able to smother that ball in the dirt. You're kind of raising up a little bit instead of leaning that chest forward and taking some of the steam out of it. This is a tough guy to catch, though, when he throws that hard slider in the dirt. That's a tough pitch to corral.
Infielders move in. It's 1-2 as Uggla takes a one-handed swing. Not an aggressive one. Uggla and Joe Gordon of the Yankees from 38 through 41 are the only two second basemen in history to hit 20 or more homers in each of their first 4 major league seasons. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes with John Baker on deck. Marlins went out last night 1-2-3 in the first inning, but Tuesday night they got 2 runs on 4 hits off Brett Myers.
Be tempted to pull Hunter in a little bit in right field.
He's very deep. Tapped with the runner coming home. Manzella throws to first, and it's dug out by Berkman as run number 3 scores on an Uggla ground out from 6-3. Uggla gets his 10th run batted in.
90 feet gained by Cantu with that wild pitch, allowing him to score on that ground ball. Moving on contact. You see him coming down the line. It's a great look at it there. Runner on third in that situation. Coming down the line with the pitch, and as soon as the ball's in play, he just sprints home.
Cantu's home with a 3rd run. Good play by Manzella and Berkman to get Uggla. Now John Baker, 317, 6 runs batted in.
Well, the way the Astros have been lately, down 3, that's right where they want to be.
Yeah, they have mastered the come from behind win. They have 3 in a row. Baker's 2 for 7 in this series. Fly ball, shallow left field, could be trouble for the Astros. Manzella! Tremendous play for Tommy Manzella. Diving to the backhand side, just inside the left field line. It looked like a Brad Mills, Michael Bourne center field, Kazuo Matsui second base, Lance Berkman first base, Carlos Lee left field. Hunter Pence right field. Jeff Blum playing third base tonight on a 6-game hitting streak. Humberto Quintero is the catcher with Tommy Manzella at shortstop. Felipe Paulino is the pitcher.
Starting pitcher for the Florida Marlins tonight, brought to you by Suzuki, is Anibal Sanchez. He's a kitchen sink guy. Fastball, curve, slider, change. Not a power pitcher. High 80s, low 90s with that fastball. This is the Astros' first look at him since April of 2007. And boy, what a great start to his career. 10-3 his first year, including a no-hitter in just his 13th major league start. And the help will come from Coghlan, Maben, and Ross in the outfield. Infield of Cantu, Ramirez, Ugla, and Gabby Sanchez. John Baker, he's caught every game in this series. South Carolina.
Michael Bourne gets it going. Strike one to Bourne. He's been churning out runs lately, getting on base at a good clip. 311 batting average, 1 RBI, 392 on base average. Drawing walks, creating havoc on the bases. No balls, 2 strikes. That's what the Marlins folks have been talking about. The impact of Michael Bourne. And we saw him cause something to happen in that rundown when he appeared to be hung out to dry last night. Got the interference call on Hanley Ramirez, which wound up an error on Ramirez, and he was awarded third base. And he later scored.
It's our first look at Sanchez in a while. Stays pretty tall on that back leg. Slow, easy delivery.
He gets a strikeout. Struck out 6 in 12 innings in the first 2 starts. And he gave up 5 runs in each of those first 2 starts in 6 innings. The most recent one at Philadelphia, April 16th. He threw 104 pitches in that one. In his career, he's 18-18. His ERA is 3.98. Kazuo Matsui is the batter. 125, 3 for 24, 1 RBI. Matsui was back in the lineup last night and snapped an 0 for 19. Infield hit, slaps this one to shortstop. And Ramirez makes the good throw. 1 pitch required for out number 2, and Lance Berkman to try to get something started with 2 outs and nobody on. Lance just returning to action with the Astros Tuesday night, being set for game number 3. He has had a very active first couple of games. Has driven in 3, has moved all over the field, diving plays at first base, base running. Been very active after that left knee surgery March 13th. Kept him out for weeks. Sanchez delivers ball 1. And so was joking about his own attempt to steal third last night, the ill-fated attempt.
Yeah, he said he had the element of surprise on his side. But he said he forgot you have to get a good jump too.
That's looked up the middle and past the diving Ugla. A Berkman 2-out single. And Brad Mills has experimented this spring with hitting Berkman in spots other than the number 3 spot, but it's nice to have him batting in the first inning.
Especially after 2 quick outs. He's such a good hitter, and he gives you a tough at bat. So if nothing else, typically he's going to make the pitcher work a little bit. And now maybe the Astros can build a little something with 2 out.
He's aboard for Carlos Lee. A 145 hitter with 1 RBI, 115 at bat since his last long ball. Coming last year. And there's strike 1 to El Caballo. 3 for 7 on this homestand. But he's had better swings recently. Some good ones in St. Louis, more in Chicago. This one to second. Ugla. On to first. No runs a hit and the man left. 3-0 Marlins after 1. Second inning, and just about set to move into the second inning of play. The home plate umpire looks around. C.B. Buckner now ready to go, with Cody Ross leading it off. The right fielder at 250 has one homer, 8 runs batted in for Cody. Goes left, that's right. And there's strike one to it. Ross is 0 for 7 in this series. It's that one in the air toward the left field line. Carlos Lee comes over. Let's join Patty Smith.
Well, thanks so much, guys. As we continue to play green, I'm joined by former Houston Texan Kylie Wong. Always good to see him. He was part of Houston leadership today at the festivities out at Westbury. And first of all, let's just talk about what a great event that was today.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, if for anybody, we basically built a garden out there in the Westbury community, and to see, you know, what we took it from. I mean, it was just literally a empty piece of land, and now it's this beautiful, you know, garden that the community can enjoy. So it's been a lot of fun being a part of it.
And you're part of Houston leadership, and what is it about that prompted you to want to get involved in that?
Well, you know, Leadership Houston, I mean, it's an amazing organization. It basically goes out and looks for successful people, and they kind of from very diverse backgrounds, and bring them together and collaborate on community service type things. So we're always focusing on, you know, how we can improve Houston, how we can engage in the conversation about Houston, because obviously we love the city so much.
And it really was a great event out there today, and because you partook in that and because of who you are, you got to throw out the first pitch today. And you were telling me today you really hadn't practiced, but you were confident you were going to get up there on the rubber and just nail one over the plate.
I did. I thought for sure. I mean, you know, there's no doubt about it. Don't really play much baseball, but I thought for sure I'm going to throw a money strike. And I tell you what, that mound changes everything. So, you know, my hat's off to all the baseball players, all the pitchers that go up there, because it really is different. You have to aim higher.
Well, you know what I knew it wasn't going to work when you told me that you throw your T-ball with your son. It was the same thing.
Exactly. You knew that's a bad idea.
I knew it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, a great job today. Always good to see you, and thanks for joining.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
That was very enjoyable being out there with you, Patty, and everybody. Nice day, and we had good weather for it. It wasn't too hot. Gabby Sanchez has a 2-2 count with one out here in the second inning. And that one goes foul. Anibal Sanchez on deck. Tommy Manzella will run that one down. The Marlins go on to Colorado next. They have had 2 quality starts in the first 2 games of this series. The Astros scoring late against their bullpen.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. They haven't finished particularly well.
Well, it was interesting to see the comments from Lou Piniella about his move of Carlos Zambrano to the bullpen. He said, well, you know, I've been looking at a lot of box scores, and there have been a lot of games won in the 7th and 8th innings. It's a critical time in a Major League Baseball game. To his left, Jeff Plum. One out.
Well, cruise on down to Minute Maid Park Saturday. Astros host the Pirates, 6:05 game. First 10,000 fans will receive a Jose Cruz bobblehead, courtesy of AT&T. 100 of those bobbleheads will be signed by Cheo himself. So that's exciting. And also Saturday, outfield deck tickets are only $5. You can purchase those at Astros.com.
Those are good-looking bobbleheads. Here's strike one to Anibal Sanchez, who has 2 hits and 3 at-bats, and a sacrifice bunt. Well, we've got a signed bobblehead from Cheo right up here in the booth. Liner to right field, and that's another hit for Sanchez. His 3rd already in 4 at-bats this season.
Wasting this guy on the mound. They need to make him an outfielder.
Hit number 3 for the Marlins. Brings up Cameron Maben.
Better make sure you run hard when you hit a line drive this hard to right field if you're the pitcher, because typically the right fielder is going to be shortened up. Hunter saying, come on, Lance, get over there. I want to try to throw him out. And Lance is so no, that would be an ill-advised throw, so I'm not even going to give you a target.
Strike one to Maben. Maben just had such a love for baseball that he opted to continue to play this sport and did not play high school basketball in his senior year. And unfortunately, his team lost in the finals of the state tournament. But the basketball coach actually told him that he should go ahead and stick with baseball if that was his desire.
He was worried about getting hurt with the draft coming up. Yeah, draw a knee or something.
Tap foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes, but he just has that tremendous build. And in center field with long strides. He's improved, they say, on his jumps in center field, as well as his jumps on stolen bases. Dave Collins thinks maybe Maben could steal 30 bases this year if he gets on base maybe 35% of the time or so. Last year he had 176 at bats. He hit 250, struck out 51 times, and wound up with a 318 on base average. So the goal of a leadoff man or somebody at the top of the order would be to improve that contact ratio, try to get on more often and utilize his speed. This one kicks away, but not very far from Quintero, and the count runs to 2-2 on Maben.
Well, if he can make the strides this year that Michael Bourne made last year, then he'll be on his way. But Maben a little bit different type of player. I think they think he's the kind of guy who's going to be able to hit maybe 15, 20 home runs for you too as he develops.
He was with Detroit. He was their minor league player of the year in 06. Came to the big leagues briefly in 07 with the Tigers. Foul ball there keeps him in the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes with Coughlin on deck.
And facing Felipe Paulino, of course, the hitters have a solid scouting report, even though they haven't seen him. They've got all kinds of reports and things of that nature. And I'm sure they're going up there thinking, okay, this guy throws 97 miles an hour. He throws a hard slider. So just look for the ball. And he's mostly staying away from the right-handed hitter. So look middle away and assume it's coming hard. You're not really throwing much in terms of an off-speed pitch.
Strike 3 call. That's his first strikeout. No runs ahead. A man stranded. Already been clinched. They've won the first 2 of this series, but now they trail 3-0 as the bottom of the second rolls around for Anibal Sanchez and the Florida Marlins. Hunter Pence, Jeff Blum, Humberto Quintero due up against Sanchez. The right-hander who is 1-0 lifetime against the Astros with a 0.75 ERA. There's a sign for Hunter. Starts the night at 173. He has 1 homer and he's driven in 2. Strike one for Sanchez.
Fox Track is brought to you by Gexa Energy. That's the little machine that lets us see where those pitches are.
It's 1-1.
And that Fox Track said that was a strike. And Lloyd Baker caught it. He had no chance of being called a strike.
Very good point. Fly ball to shallow right. Cody Ross. Boy, framing is a big deal, isn't it, to get a call?
Yeah, and you know, it was a breaking ball. So the catcher, you're anticipating that ball moving across the plate, and it backed up on him, so he kind of went at it awkwardly. So that's partly on the, maybe mostly on the pitcher there, but that's the difference of a real good receiver. And I haven't really seen enough of Baker to know whether he's really good or not. But a really good receiver just has that knack of cradling the ball and making subtle adjustments and movements to catch the ball without jerking.
Jeff Blum takes ball one, getting his first start at third base this season. 300 batting average, 3 runs batted in. Another huge pinch hit last night. 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in for Jeff in this series. Both hits, pinch hits. And he's been doing some of that clutch work in the late innings. Jason Michaels, some of the other guys. Jeff, during his 6-game hitting streak, 7 for 17. Got the first pinch triple of his career last night. 2 balls and a strike. Been doing it all. He was the Clay Green ambassador today with us. This one goes foul, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The situation at third being that manager Brad Mills wanted to give Pedro Feliz a day off at some point during this series, and he allowed him to pick which day off in this series he would prefer, and that was tonight. Into center field, so that was a good call, and Blum is the hot stick, so he gets a start and extends his hitting streak to 7 games.
I'm not sure, you know, Pedro Feliz, when given that option, why he picked tonight, say, versus last night, but it's interesting because if you were trying to duck somebody, last night would have been the guy you wanted to duck, Josh Johnson. Well, nobody's going to accuse Pedro of ducking the best arms in the business.
Sharp single through the box. Humberto Quintero sent a ball on a long ride to left field for his first homer last night. He's hitting .238. And there's strike one to Q, who also had a single in that game, going 2 for 3 last night. Astros catching production has been very good in recent games. Q has hit safely in 3 of his last 4 starts. That was the 10th home run of his career last night, and his first since last September 27th. Tommy Manziel is on deck. Marlins starting pitchers have combined to win 5, lose 3 with a 3.96 ERA. Very respectable.
What's going on between Baker and Buckner, but they're having a little bit of a conversation back there behind home plate.
There's one. And a double play. 6-4-3 as Sanchez cleans up the second inning and maintains a 3-0 lead.
ballpark tomorrow and watch the Astros take on the Pirates at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans will get the 45th anniversary fleece blanket courtesy of Minute Maid. Friday's also college night. Here's the blanket right here. Greg Lucas helping me hold it up. Pretty awesome little cozy blanket. Like I said, it's also college night. So students visit Astros.com to purchase the special ticket offer, and the first 500 will receive a college night free t-shirt. So come on out and get all kinds of good stuff, guys.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Patty. Chris Coughlin looks at that first pitch of inning number 3. The appeal goes to Kerwin Danley. He rules ball 1. Coughlin walked and scored in the first. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with Ramirez and Cantu to follow.
The Pittsburgh Pirates coming to town for the weekend. They're either going to be really mad or just really downtrodden.
Manzella takes care of out number 1 after losing 20-0 to Milwaukee.
And I believe outscored 37-1 in that 3-game series.
That's a rough series. What happened with their pitching in that 20-0 contest?
Well, Daniel McCutcheon started. He allowed 6 earned runs in 3 2/3. Carrasco allowed 4 in an inning. And then Hanrahan was the other guy got abused. Joel Hanrahan worked 1 inning, allowed 6 earned runs.
Worst loss in the long history of the Pirates.
Yeah, they've been playing there since forever. They were in the first World Series.
Yeah, 1903.
Yeah, against the Boston Bean Eaters.
Strike 1 to Ramirez. He lined a single to right field.
Back when it was like a best of 9, right?
Yes. No balls, 2 strikes for Felipe Paulino. Q pounded his mitt on the ground. He wanted the slider down, and that's where it was.
Now, still doing most of his work on the outside edge, and that's fine. You know, doing most of your work out there is fine, but you got to make sure you do a little work inside too to open that outside corner, especially when you got his kind of stuff. I mean,
right.
Big dude that throws 97, he can intimidate some people.
Come right at him, break some bats, make them very inside conscious, and take over the outside corner after doing that.
There we go. You can get it in there.
Blum takes care of the second out.
It's interesting to see how far inside Quintero set up there on that pitch. Basically telling the big fella, hey, look, let's make sure you get it in there. Don't miss. Get it in.
Part of that pitcher-catcher relationship.
Sliding way in there, and he throws it across the body. He got more of the plate than Quintero wanted. Kip's got such good stuff, he got away with it.
Jorge Cantu single to give him a 16-game hitting streak out of the chute. And strike 1. Nate McLouth in 2008 opened the season with a 19-game hitting streak. Cantu taps, backhanded Blum. And he makes the last 2 plays in the top of the 3rd. They're all ground ball.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Boone Logan and the defending World Series champion Yankees take on the Angels. Yankees won the World Series. An ALCS rematch coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Lowe's begins this week at 3 right here on Channel 26 in Houston.
Boone Logan.
Yeah, well, it says A-Rod on the card, but I figured we'd give love to, you know, some of the other Yankees. It's always A-Rod and Jeter.
Logan. A night for cotton candy, a night for watching the Astros with Tommy Manzella leading it off in the bottom of the third. Try to roar from behind yet again. Manzella begins the night at 2:06.
Oh, he's had a good night already just with that play he made in left field.
Yes, he has. 2 runs batted in for Tommy. No balls, 2 strikes. Last night, Manzella watched Jeff Keppinger play shortstop. And it's 1-2. Trying to reach here for Paulino. And he shoots one into right field. He extended his arms and whacked it hard past the first baseman Gabby Sanchez for hit number 3 by an Astro. And here's what he did earlier. Our Doing More on Defense feature is brought to you by the Home Depot.
You went a long, long way to track that one down. Great concentration. Just an outstanding play. Fortunately, Tommy wasn't here when Carlos ran into Adam Everett. It caused him to pull up a little bit.
Yeah. Paulino around a bunt. Foul ball, strike 1. Paulino has 1 sacrifice, 2 hits, including a double. Yeah, that put Adam out of service for several weeks, unfortunately. That collision with El Caballo in left field. Dave Clark with the signs for Paulino, with Michael Bourne on deck. Manzella has not attempted a stolen base this year. He's not considered to be an above average major league runner. Sanchez tosses and it goes there on the sacrifice from 1 to 4. 1 out.
Those pitchers doing a nice job in the batter's box so far this year, getting the sacrifice bunts down, chipping in with some base hits.
Yeah, they're ranking very high in batting average in the National League among pitching staffs. 286 and second at the moment. Arizona pitchers are hitting 303.
See Dan Herron's game the other day?
No.
He went 4 for 4. They gave up like 6 or 7 earned runs on the mound.
Oh. Offensive day. Offensive to a pitcher, too.
I forgot who he was. I mean, he was a good hitter. He was a good hitter in college. He's one of the better pitchers in the league. I mean, how do you feel about that day? I mean, how rare is it for a pitcher to go 4 for 4? Boy.
Yeah, and you can't really.
And what's he doing getting 4 at-bats in a game where he gives up 7 earned runs?
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
up with that?
That's called pitching in Arizona. Bourne. It's one foul, 1-1. Michael did a whale of a job on that rundown play last night. And he was talking about it before the game today. He wasn't claiming any particular triumph or anything like that. Just trying to do his job. He thought maybe Hanley Ramirez was going to catch that ball in the air off the bat of Berkman. So he had to hold at second base. And then by the time Ramirez came up with the ball after it bounced, Michael was just trying to get in the rundown, which he did. And Ramirez wound up making contact with him and drawing an error on the interference. Placed Michael at third base. So that was a fun rundown to watch. We talked to a lot of players on both teams, JD. Most of them said they made the right play, but just didn't execute the rundown.
Yeah, they just had the wrong guy in the rundown. And couldn't control that. Remember when you were a kid, we used to play rundown. We called the hot box.
Right.
I don't know if kids still do that or not. Michael Bourne, he would have been the first pick in the hot box draft.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. And try to explain that to a 12-year-old kid now. We used to play this game where we just have rundowns all the time.
What's that, a video game?
Yeah. And the problem is, Ramirez, when you're taught in a rundown, once you throw the ball and get out of the baseline, but he had to go so hard to try to track Michael down. He had so much momentum going forward, he couldn't change direction.
Bouncer and Douglas there. Flipping to Sanchez. And sell it to third, 2 outs. Henry Ramirez took full blame for that play. Well, Bourne worked the count full. He grounded out. And now it's Matsui trying to drive in the Astros' first run of the night. Matsui hit the first pitch on the ground to shortstop.
Astros with a base hit in each of the first 3 innings of this game have yet to cross home plate. Clutch opportunity here for Caswell.
This is his 8th start of the year at second base. Jeff Keppinger started 7 times at that position. Strike to Matsui. Talking with Brad Mills about keeping players fresh. That's what he's doing. He's mixing in everybody into that starting lineup. He also wants to give Carlos Lee a day off, but that's to be negotiated.
When you look at the Astros lineup, obviously they're going to have to get a lot of production from the big 3 in the middle of the order. It's not a very deep lineup, but there is some versatility there. And I like what Brad Mills is doing. I think that's the key for this team is to be able to mix and match and find favorable matchups. If a guy's got a good history against that nice pitcher, put him in there. If they got a pitcher who struggled against lefties, get as many lefty bats in the lineup as you can instead of just sticking with, here's my 8 frontline guys, I'm going to run them out there every day. I think the key for this club is to really try to play the matchup game. Go with a hot hand.
Well, he's going with a hot hand tonight with Blum at third base. So you're right. And with this type of makeup he has on this club, it makes sense to do it that way.
And manage the club, instead of just here's the lineup, go play. I mean, I love what he's doing. I like the way he's using all of his pieces.
2-2 with the 2 catchers. He lets them know a day ahead of time when they're starting a game. That gives them a chance to do some game planning. J.R. Tolles said he really appreciates that. Looks like that's Matt Lindstrom alongside J.R. on the bench with the jacket on. Popped up. See if it gets out of play. It does not. Cantu takes care of out number 3. It's no runs, a hit, a runner stranded at third base. 3-0 Marlins after
History is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. It was April 22nd, 1986. Alan Ashby homers off Atlanta's Dwayne Ward in the ninth for a 3-2 win. And Charlie Kerfeld, wearing his Lucky Jetsons t-shirt under his jersey, is the winning pitcher. Guys?
Jetsons t-shirt, if he still has that around somewhere. Let's hope not.
JD, did you have a Lucky t-shirt or anything?
Just Charlie's. The Jetsons and Flintstones.
Dan Ugla with strike one. Hit a ground ball and got a run home back in the first inning. Ugla is from Louisville. Was drafted by Arizona and then a Rule 5 draft pick by the Marlins. December of 05. What a great Rule 5 choice. Roll to second. So he handles out number one for Paulino, who's really settling in. Might be able to follow the same pattern Brett Myers set Tuesday night when he threw about 50 pitches in the first couple of innings and then did exactly what Paulino's doing right now.
Yeah, Myers able to give the Astros 7 innings that night. Paulino's tightened things up. Of course, 2 of the 3 runs scored off of him in the first were unearned. A lot of outs on the ground.
John Baker, that pop-up. Zella making the excellent play on him first time up. Ball one to Baker. 7 ground ball out so far for Paulino. It's 1-1. Last year the Marlins came out of the gate 11-1. Then they went 8-24 and then 68-50. Check swing call. Right there by Kerwin Danley, makes the count 2-1. Marlins have been a good road team, 17-10 on the road since last September 1st. There's that call. Dribble foul by Baker. Ronnie Paulino should be ready to go according to reports for tomorrow night's game in Colorado for the Marlins. They've been able to give him this entire series off. The rest of that right quadriceps muscle problem that he had. In tight, and it's 3-1.
You see prior to that pitch, Paulino motioned with his head to cue that he wanted to go inside.
Here's a man who's very well respected by the coaching staff for the Marlins. Foul away, delegates and lets the coaches do their jobs in their various areas of responsibility. Freddie Gonzalez, a guy who's known as those in-command managers, but pretty laid back.
Good guy. They got a good staff over there. Randy St. Clair has been a long-time Major League pitching coach. He's new with the Marlins this year.
Baker works a walk, taking the inside pitch. That's the second walk.
Jim Presley, the hitting coach. Carlos Tosca, the bench coach, former Major League manager.
AT&T trivia question. Let's see. Carlos Tosca. No. Who is the all-time leading home run hitter with the last name Green? Is it Pumpsy Green? Probably not.
Hank Greenberg.
Ooh. It's not Dallas Green.
How about Sean Green?
Sean Green would have to rank pretty high on that list.
Sean
Greens. Not easy being green. Sean was a first-round pick, right? So the expectations were pretty high for him. He had some very good years.
Yeah, he had at least 140-plus home run season.
Yeah, he did.
4 in 1 game.
Ball one to Cody Ross with a runner at first and 1 out. Held the ball there and delivered a strike. 1-1. Several green-themed activities are happening during tonight's game. Pitches like that will play into a green theme of conserving pitches for Paulino if he can hit the corner like that.
That's a great segue, Brownie. It's got a great tie-in.
First 10,000 fans are getting Play Green Astros caps, which you've seen. They're made of recyclable materials, courtesy of Waste Management. There's a Play Green Expo of 22 Earth-friendly vendors in Conoco Alley. The Astros are purchasing renewable energy credits from Reliant Energy, playing a green game this evening. FS Houston's on-site broadcast booth and truck are powered by the same green power supplying Minute Maid Park. The Astros, by the way, are 2-0 when they wear the green caps on Earth Day the last 2 years. And here's another reason that Jeff Blum should be in the lineup. He homers on Earth Day.
Really?
Well, he hit one in 2008 on Earth Day, and Hunter Pence has homered in each of the last 2 Earth Day games. They're the 2 play green ambassadors. Three balls, 2 strikes to Ross. Sanchez on deck for Paulino. Paulino's thrown 70 pitches, 45 of them strikes. Alberto Arias had rotator cuff surgery and labrum surgery today, considered to be out for the season. Runner going. Fly ball right field. Hunter Pence moves in toward the infield on the run. Now throw to first and no double play. The way he was running toward first base, you knew he was going to try it. Ball might have gotten hung up in his glove for a moment. 2 outs.
Baker moving with the pitch. And, fortunately for him, able to recognize fairly early on that that ball was in the air and able to scramble back. Just a little bit of panic in his face.
Yeah. Gabby Sanchez grounded to third earlier. The Cubs nothing, the Mets nothing. Bottom of the 6th in New York.
Mets just got one.
Oh, okay.
It's Santana, Johan Santana, and Tom Corzolani started for the Cubs tonight. He had to come out of his last start against the Astros. He got whacked in the arm by a comebacker off the bat of Pedro Feliz.
Strike 1 to Gabby Sanchez. Paulino would love to get him to end the inning, and the pitcher leads off the 5th. If that happens,
might have been a strike because they were set up inside. Q had to reach all the way across the plate to get it. And it was very difficult to get that call.
Paulino's missed a couple times trying to come inside.
Let's see what Foxtrot's faced. Yeah, Foxtrot's got a
That one's good for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Oh, Johnny Vandermeer's record is safe. No back-to-back no-hitters for Ubaldo Jimenez. Just 7 1/3 shutout innings tonight.
Ooh. What? That's strong effort.
Yeah, I was giving the Cy Young Award to Roy Halladay. I might have to wait. Jimenez is 4-0 with an 0.95 ERA.
Well, that's right there alongside Halladay. Inside there for ball 2.
That's all. You don't have to throw it up around the head. Move their feet a little bit. Make them uncomfortable.
Texas got 2 in the top of the 7th at Boston to lead the Red Sox 2-0. Middle of the 7th now against Clay Buchholz. They're going, and it's hit in the air. Michael Bourne coming in center field for the play to end the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. Florida 3. trivia question about the all-time leading home run hitter with the last name Green. Was it Sean Green? It was Sean with 328. Shall we name our all-Green team?
Yeah, we put together a green team.
Mopsy Green, Dick Green,
David Green.
yeah, Khalil Green, Nick Green, Tommy Green.
Tommy Green, the pitcher from the Phillies. He threw a no-hitter, I think, didn't he?
Yes. Dallas Green. Radio engineer would be Bob Green for the broadcast. Lance Berkman leads it off.
Oh, watch your lips.
Into center field. He smacked it for his second hit of the night.
Charlie Browned him. Yeah, both those balls really well struck. Lance last night looked like he was a little in between with his swing, a little out of sync, but not tonight.
Hi-ya!
Oh, that would have hurt.
It's a scorcher.
Sits back on that back leg, gets the front side down, and the hands just come flying through the zone. He's a pretty good major league hitter, that guy.
That gets it started. Second time in a row the leadoff man has reached. Carlos Lee looks at strike one. 4 hits, all singles for the Astros. Lee grounded out to second in the first. Well, Lance had some interesting comments about hitting before the game tonight. Hitters thinking too much.
Yeah. You know, the point he was making, one of the points he was making, that when you're in a groove, you're not thinking at all. You're just up there, you're seeing the ball, and you're reacting. You kind of get in that zone. So when he gets into a funk, he'll start to struggle, and then he'll start to think to his detriment, and you start getting bogged down thinking instead of reacting.
Well, he talked about that 3-0 pitch he hit last night to Hanley Ramirez, and that started the rundown on Michael Bourne. He said he was pretty determined to hit a 3-run homer on that pitch, and he didn't just stay back and react to the pitch. Up the chute, Hanley Ramirez back into shallow left field. 1 out.
Yeah, I think baseball. There's plenty of smart guys that play baseball, but sometimes you have to kind of take the brain out of it as much as you can.
That's what he was saying.
Trust your physical skill set and your instincts.
Yeah, he said if you study a lot of videotape and look at what pitchers throw in certain situations, you might be creating a brain lock for yourself that could hinder success at the plate. Hunter Pence hit a fly ball to right. Talked about what a quick reaction hitting is, and how sometimes anticipating might cause a problem. Sean Berry really happy with the timely hitting his club has had when those come from behind efforts have presented themselves recently. The at-bats have been really good. Great to see Charlie Taylor at the ballpark tonight. He's been minor league pitching coach for many years with the Astros. He's been here in Houston over the winter getting treatments at MD Anderson Cancer Center, just back in town, and got a great report. It's 1-2. Good numbers for this young right-hander. Marlin pitchers have 7 games in a row with at least 6 games from their starters, 6 innings from their starters. So they put together a nice stretch, but bullpen has nullified the starters the last couple nights, so the Marlins are trying to put it all together in this game.
Keeping with the green theme, it's a pretty green bullpen that the Marlins have.
Yeah.
A lot of youngsters out there, and that could prove to be a real weakness for their club this year.
5.32 ERA, only 5 of 9 in saves. Sanchez worked only 86 innings last year. Right shoulder problems. Made 16 starts. He was signed as a free agent by Boston. Then he came in the trade to Florida for Josh Beckett, Guillermo Mota, and Mike Lowell. He, Hanley Ramirez, and a couple of other prospects involved in that very big deal. Little check swing roller goes to Cantu. And over to Sanchez to get Pence. 2 outs. Berkman to second. Jeff Blum will try to drive him in.
Astros had 2 chances last inning with a man in scoring position. Able to get it done. Now, the third opportunity comes here for Blum. Feel pretty good about his chances the way he's been swinging it. Lance probably will not be trying to steal third base here. For a number of reasons. It was funny, I was talking with Carlos Tosca, the bench coach, and he said after Ugla had been on first base, and he was talking to Lance when he was on base, and Ugla told Carlos that Lance was bugging him a little bit. And then when Lance got on base and Freddie Gonzalez called for a pickoff and they threw over, and Carlos leaned over and said, he's probably, his knee's bugging him, he's probably not going to run. And then, a little bit later on, Lance takes off for third base.
Plummer hit a nice line drive single up the middle. Andy Ramirez is shading him that way. And strike one. The Astros have 2 pinch triples. Blum's last night, another one by Corey Sullivan. The other 29 clubs have combined for 3. Foul ball makes it 0-2. It was obvious that Jeff Blum was paying a lot of attention to the strike zone last night as he was watching the game. Then coming up as a pinch hitter, he laid off a couple of low pitches, worked the count to 3-1, and he ripped that 2-run triple. He was just noticing that those low pitches weren't being called strikes. Little tap. Sanchez tossing to Sanchez. And it's no runs, 1 hit, and 1. Let's join Patty Smith.
Well, guys, I am high above the ballpark on top of Union Station, up here on the roof on a beautiful night with our progressive fans of the game. And I've actually chosen 2, Heather and Jennifer, who are leading the way with this fun group up here, who I know you guys are having a good time.
We certainly are. We're with Wilbros, and we're global energy contractors, and we're having a client event tonight and having a great time, great view, and beautiful weather.
And Jennifer, I know everybody's just raving that, of all the places in the ballpark, this is a great venue, but this is one of my favorite places to watch the game.
It is. You get to see everything, still mingle, get great weather. Go Stros.
All right, and Heather and Jennifer are both our progressive fans of the game, guys, so I'm going to hang out here and party with them for a little while. I'm going to send it back to you.
Great.
Remember now, you have to be back down in the Crawford boxes.
Oh, you are just a fun sucker.
Well, you've been working all day today, so you deserve a little fun. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I do. I've got a couple innings. So
You don't have any water balloons up there by any chance?
no, don't give me any ideas. I bet Heather could probably find me some.
Strikeout number 2 there on Anibal Sanchez, and Felipe Paulino moves along to the top of the order. Cameron Maben is 0 for 2. Maben has scored in 12 of 15 games this year. That was tap foul. Strike 1 to Cameron Maben. Dodgers lead 5-4 at Cincinnati. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
The Dodger lineup is just lighting it up.
Andre Ethier hit his 5th home run. It came off Mike Leake. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrett Anderson with number 1. Yeah, Matt Kemp's going crazy last few days. He's up to 333 now for call, 349.
Yeah, the whole lineup just about hitting above 4 for 300 last time I checked.
Yeah. Manny Ramirez 415. Casey Blake 294. You're right. Russell Martin 318. Foul back to keep the count at 1-2 with Coughlin on deck. Paulino at age 26, making his 3rd start of the year. He's 2-6 at Minute Maid Park in his career with a 4.95 ERA. Michael Bourne's in right center field. Spins one up, strikes out Maben. That's number 3 for Paulino.
Yeah, came off the hard slider with the curveball. He hasn't done that very often, and maybe the first one. Certainly the most effective one. Just a good off-speed breaking pitch there. After all the hard stuff, and you can see the effect. Maben way out in front.
Sure was. Paulino has thrown 85 pitches. Coughlin walked in that 3-run first. Only one of the runs was earned. Then he grounded out. Strike to Coughlin with Ramirez on deck. Mets dropped a 4 spot on the Cubs in the 6th inning to lead 4-0 for Santana. 0-2. Paulino commanding a 76-mile-per-hour breaking pitch there.
For such a good one to Maben, he decided to break it out again.
Oh, the fastball blows him away. 96, 20-mile-per-hour differential. Only 1 earned Now the Astros, who have had 4 singles scattered across the first 4 innings, have Quintero, Manzella, and Paulino due up in the home 5th inning. Cute bunting, barehanded. Sanchez plenty of time to throw to Gabby Sanchez. 1 out.
Hunter's Lodge, presented by Gallery Furniture, is available for every Astros home game in 2010. You look at a field box ticket near right field, cozy up next to Hunter down there. You also get a t-shirt, and it'll only cost you $30. You can also take advantage of this with a 6-game flex plan. Find out about that at Astros.com.
Good spot. Tommy Manzella whacked a line drive to right field earlier. Shortening up there. He takes ball 1. With Paulino on deck. The win tonight would give the Astros their first series sweep since they swept a 4-game set from the Phillies early September last year. 2-0. Phillies lead 6-2 at Atlanta after 6. And Jamie Moyer. Fly ball to right center. Maben. 2 outs. And it's Paulino. The Astros haven't swept Florida in a 3-game series since 03 at Minute Maid Park. Paulino put down a sacrifice in the 3rd inning.
Big strong guy, might as well take a rip here, see if he can knock one out of the ballpark.
Well, he knocked one over the head of the right fielder for a double. Ball 1, his first hit of the year. This one, a broken bat roller, sneaks through into center, and Paulino, even though the bat didn't survive, is now 3 for 5 as a hitter this season.
If not for the double play in the 2nd inning, the Astros inning by inning line would be no runs, 1 hit, no error, 1 left in every inning. And care about such silly stuff. And stare at a scorecard 160 times a year, you tend to look at that stuff.
Michael Bourne is struck out and grounded out. We're looking at a little baby on the shoulders of Dad, wearing a little green cap down below us right now.
Yeah, that's a quality baby there.
Cute little kid. Strike to Michael Bourne.
There you go.
That's the cute youngster. One and one. Director Paul Bykowski very quickly reacting. Whoa. Oh, lose the balance there. Bourne into center field. Puts a hit in front of Maben. Getting Paulino to second base, and the 2-out rally will bring Matsui to the plate.
Stay back nicely on that breaking ball. Well, another opportunity here, and that hits in every inning.
Bobby Meacham welcomes Bourne at first. Freddie Gonzalez looking out as Sanchez talks with Baker. Shortstop Ramirez in at the mound.
Be a good time for Kaz to yank one into that right field corner. Usually he's thinking about just trying to shoot the ball the other way, but every now and then he'll look for fastball and try to turn on it. See the Astros 3 consecutive comebacks.
Last night 4-1 in the 5th, and they won at 5-4. That was their biggest comeback of the season. Matsui's 0 for 2. Grounded to short. Foul pop to third.
Routine single to left field. It's going to be very difficult for Dave Clark to score Paulino. Coughlin playing pretty shallow out there.
It's 1-1. It's kind of a third base coach's nightmare, too, with a big pitcher running the bases at second. Matsui to first. Sanchez takes care of the third out. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. That's the 5, 3-0 Marlins. Tommy Manzella in the first inning on a pop-up to shallow left field by John Baker. He snagged it after 3 runs had already scored in the inning. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And a spectacular play with left-handed hitting Baker. Lee was over a little bit towards the alley, so there was nobody else going to make that play but Manzella. Since then, Paulino's been lights out. He's allowed 2 base runners, a single to the pitcher Sanchez, and then a 1-out walk to Baker in the 4th.
Hanley Ramirez with ball 1 upstairs is 1 for 2. Ramirez just 26 years old, .316 career hitter. It's 1-1. Paulino struck out the side in the 5th. He's at 90 pitches for the night.
Ramirez hurt himself with that swing.
Oh, yeah. He needs a little time. Randy Wolf was the recipient of the 20-run output for Milwaukee, beating Pittsburgh 20-0. Beating Daniel McCutchen.
What about the most lopsided shutout in baseball history?
Boy, that's a really good question. That's a very unusual. Oh, now Ramirez hit by the pitch. He flings the bat away. That's a painful at bat right there. Foul ball hit him, and then the pitcher hit him. And Ramirez is on his way to first base to lead off the 6th.
Earlier in the game, he was trying to get in on Ramirez and didn't quite get the pitch in there enough. This time, the ball runs up and in on him.
Ouch. Like Felipe has been missing in a few times tonight when he's trying to come in. And now it's Jorge Cantu, who actually has a 20-game hitting streak going back to last year. He's 1 for 2 in this game. Runner going. They tag him on the back. A quick tag by Matsui. Takes care of out number 1 as Ramirez is thrown out by Quintero. What a tag by Matsui.
That's a breaking pitch. Q does a real nice job staying back. DeMuth does a nice job staying with the play and getting the call right. There's the tag before Ramirez can get to the base. And a lot of times on a breaking pitch or an off-speed pitch, the catcher will kind of lunge for the ball, and that actually takes longer to get the ball to second base if you wait and let it travel to you. The ball is going to travel, even on breaking pitch, is going to travel quicker to you than you are going to reach out, grab it, and then reach out with your throwing hand to pull it out of your mitt.
That was excellent work by the catcher at second baseman. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cantu. Marlins had been 8 of 9 in stolen bases for the year.
Show you what I was talking about with Q here, how he waits for this breaking pitch to get to him as opposed to really stretching out to get the ball.
He wants it down. It was down, and a foul ball by Cantu keeps it at 2-2. A lot of times the catcher will come out of that crouch and cost his pitcher a call because he blocks the umpire's vision of the pitch.
It's when you're blessed with the right arm like Quintero, you can afford to stay back and just trust that arm. And this Cantu guy, a very underrated hitter. Since the All-Star game last year, only 4 players have more RBI than Jorge Cantu. Ryan Howard, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, and Matt Kemp. Ooh.
Ground ball, Blum unable to stop it. Like it took a crazy bounce on him. He was moving to his right, and the ball went back to his left, and Cantu reaches.
The real tough chance, that in between hop.
Ruled an error on Blum, his 2nd of the year.
Didn't have time. He wanted to back up and get a friendlier hop. Just didn't have time.
Nope. That's a tough position to play on a ball like that. Dan Uggla's 0 for 2. Has an RBI on a ground out. He smacks one into the corner and left. Here's Cantu headed for third base as Carlos Lee gets to the ball. He'll stop there. The ball getting by, but not very far from Manzella. He's able to scoop it out of the air. After a low throw from Carlos Lee, Uggla winds up at second with double number 5 of the season.
Astros lucky that Cantu put the brakes on at third base as opposed to rounding the bag a little bit. He may have been able to score. Assuming all he was going to get was third base. You can see here a short hop throw that Tommy doesn't handle right away. By that time Cantu had already settled in.
Jeff Fulcino's warming up as pitching coach Brad Arnsberg is at the mound. Lefty hitting John Baker will be next. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Fulcino throwing there. Matt Lindstrom has tied a club record with 4 saves in as many games. Jose Valverde was the last Astro hurler to record a save in 4 straight games. He did it in 08. No pitcher in franchise history has recorded a save in 5 consecutive Astros games. Infield is in. That was at second and third, 1 out, and a 3-0 Marlin lead here in the 6th.
Yeah, and I think the first base open here, if you're Paulino, you treat this at bat as if you start 0-2. You're just trying to make nasty pitches. You're not going to give in. If you walk them, so be it. You've got the double play in order.
Quintero goes out, perhaps to discuss that very thing. Texans have selected Kareem Jackson, cornerback from Alabama.
He's got a good sky hook.
Infielders in close for Baker. Ball 1. very close. But C.B. Buckner, who's looking over toward the Astros dugout, didn't like it for a strike.
Foxtracks had it way outside.
Breaking pitch works for Felipe, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Just work the edges. Don't give in here.
Astros starting pitchers have a 3.07 ERA for the last 7 games. Of the 3 runs Paulino's given up, 1 is earned. Now 2-1. Oakland beat the Yankees 4-2. Dallas Braden going to 3-0, beating Sabathia. Now 3-1, and that's exactly what you suggested. That's what Paulino seems to be shooting for with his approach here on Baker. He walks him, the bases are loaded with 1 out. He could get out of it with a double play. Ross is on deck. And he did walk it. Bases loaded, 1 out now. That's the 3rd walk.
And Baker realizing what Paulino and the Astros were trying to do there, just being patient, drawing the walk. 104 pitches for Felipe now, and the middle infield will back up and play for 2.
Enzel and Matsui back at double play depth for Ross, who's 0 for 2, 2 fly balls. 5 grand slams for Cody, including 3 last year. 0 for 3 with the bases juiced this year. Ground ball up the middle and into center field will make it at least 4-0. And now the Marlins are looking for 5. Bourne with a throw. It's cut off. Relay to third. They get the out there, but the Marlins get 2 on the single by Ross to give them a 5-0 lead. Ross now with 10 runs batted in. And Baker's thrown out at third from Berkman to Blum. 8-3-5. Bourne getting his 2nd outfield assist of the year.
Cody Ross up there with the bases loaded. First pitch swinging. Got a fastball down and in. Good play here by Berkman. That throw offline. No chance at home. Nice hands by Blum, too, to handle the hop and apply the tag.
Gabby Sanchez is the batter. There's ball 1 to him. Marlins open it up to a 5-0 lead, even though they've been out hit 6-4. Paulino's at 106 pitches for the night. One comes in for a strike to even the count at 1-1 with the Marlins pitcher on deck. Miguel Olivo hit his 3rd for Colorado in a 2-0 win at Washington for Ubaldo Jimenez. Ian Stewart chimed in with number 4 of the year. Franklin Morales got saved number 3. Liner to the left field corner. Ross heads for third base. Carlos Lee's throw goes into second. There's a play there. Matsui unable to put that tag on. A double for Gabby Sanchez. Number 7 for him. He's among the league's top 5 in doubles. And Brad Mills is walking out to the mound after 108 pitches have been delivered by Paulino. Now, Paulino's been torpedoed by a couple of errors in this game, and he trails 5-0. We'll be right back. Markstrom, 4 saves in the last 5 days. There was an off day, so that's 4 saves in 4 games. Chris Sampson has a 1.17 ERA. No runs allowed since opening day. Tim Burdack has held lefties to an 0 for 10 performance against him. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon Wireless with Jeff Fulcino coming in. Inheriting runners at second and third with 2 outs in the inning. Marlins leading 5-0.
Fulcino has not pitched much lately. Pitched just once in that Chicago series. Third of an inning. Gave up 2 hits and a run. Gave up that home run to Derek Lee. Did not pitch in the series in St. Louis.
The pitcher drops a bunt down. Quintero takes his time and throws out Anibal Sanchez. And the Marlins come up with 2 runs in the 6th inning on 3 hits and error. A couple of men left to stretch their lead to 5-0. By the people in the green caps as part of the ballpark patrol. They do a nice job of keeping things lively and stirred up here. The Astros would like to liven up that scoreboard a little bit. They've been shut out by the right-hander Anibal Sanchez, who has really had a good record against them in the past in just a few appearances. Tonight they have seen him for 5 innings, and he has limited them to 6 singles. His mound opponent Felipe Paulino went 5 2/3, allowing 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 of them earned. Walking 3, fanning 4. He threw 109 pitches, 69 for strikes.
Yeah, it was kind of an improbable 6th inning the way it developed, because he finished the 5th inning as good as he's been all night, maybe all year, punching out the side. He started to work in that curveball, looked awfully sharp, but even though one of those 2 runs is unearned, he really got hit hard in that inning. Hit Ramirez, and then Cantu hit that BB down to Blum. Ugla double, walk single double, so tough way to end his night.
Lance Berkman has stroked 2 singles up the middle in this game. Ramirez is shading up the middle for Berkman. He looks at ball 1. Now Sanchez at age 26 came to spring training weighing about 204, down from 219 last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Marlins like the fact that he was in very good shape coming into this season. His first spring in 5 years. He hasn't had shoulder problems, he said. 2 balls, a strike. He claimed one of the 3 spots in the rotation that were open. And it looks as if he could be in for some very good times this season if he continues to throw the ball this way. 2-2. We talked about that no-hitter for Sanchez during his rookie season. That has not been a really good sign in the past for a rookie pitcher to pitch a no-hitter. Bud Smith was the last previous rookie pitcher to do that before Sanchez.
Yeah. That didn't last very long in the big leagues.
No. Sanchez became the 19th rookie to throw a no-hitter. And he already has more victories than the last 11 rookies did at the time of their no-hitters.
Really? Been that many rookie no-hitters?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Wilson Alvarez of the White Sox, 91. Bert Hooton of the Cubs in 72. Fly ball, center field. Cameron Maben. One out.
So he has more wins than how many of those guys?
11.
I love the 13.
Yeah. And so he had more wins when he pitched his no-hitter. So, it's kind of crazy. Bobo Holloman did it in 53 for the St. Louis Browns, and he finished 3-7.
Yeah. That was his first major league start, I think, Bobo Holloman.
Yes, it was. Carlos Lee is 0 for 2.
Yeah, but, the guy named Bobo, there's a pretty good chance things are going to unravel on him.
Well, besides Bud Smith and Bobo Holloman, 5 more of the 19 rookies finished their careers with losing records after no-hitters in the rookie season. Foul ball for strike one. Jose Jimenez threw a 99 no-hitter for the Cardinals. He wound up 24 and 44. There was Mike Warren for the A's, Bo Belinsky, the Angels, Vern Kennedy, 35 White Sox, and so on down the line.
Bo Belinsky, though, he was kind of a night owl, wasn't he?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, he was with the Astros one year in spring training. Used to sneak out of the dorm at night. Bouncer to second base. Turns out to be out number 2.
Bert Hooton threw his no-hitter in his 4th major league start.
I think that's right, yeah. Well, they said Bo Belinsky had this habit of, I think there was a tree by the dorm the Astros players stayed in. He would open a window and shinny down that tree and take off, come back in the middle of the night. And he unfortunately could not remember which room he was in. So he made the mistake of opening the room to traveling secretary Donald Davidson's. Going in there. Capped up the middle, Hunter Pence gets a 2-out single. And Donald got pretty tired of that after it happened several times. So Donald had the door painted orange to his room.
Hunter gets on top of that ball. It's got a lot of top spin, and that's what allows it to shoot through the infield. Watch it take off.
All singles for the Astros among their 7 hits. Jeff Blum has one of those. That was a second inning single. He's 1 for 2. In the air on the left side, Jorge Cantu settling in. And in the 6th inning, it's no runs a hit and a man left. 5-0.
worked real hard the first couple innings, almost threw 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. A couple misplays behind him has really hurt him. He's given up 5 runs, but only 2 earned. And yeah, he did real well. Third, 4th, and 5th innings, he's really settled in. But the non-support after that.
Absolutely. Well, stay with us in the post-game Astros Live after the game. More of Art's analysis, as well as we'll hear from Brad Mills, JD, and Brownie, and we will preview the upcoming series against the Pirates. That's all on Astros Live after the game. Brownie.
Thanks, Patty. There's the first pitch here of the 7th inning. It's ball 1 from Fulcino to Maben. Maben started the bat on that one, and it's a strike for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. As JD mentioned, there hasn't been a lot of work recently for Fulcino. So the opportunity is here for him to pitch another inning before leaving for a pinch hitter. Jeff, a big part of last year's bullpen. 2 balls and a strike. He worked Friday in Chicago, giving up a 3-run homer to Derek Lee in that game. Came in the Astros down by a run and a couple of men on base. Runs that one inside.
So where his Connecticut Huskies have climbed to number 25 in the college baseball rankings. He said he was going to write him a check if they finished in the top 25. He's going to have to make a big donation. Fulcino Fieldhouse or something.
Popped up Matsui's way. 1 out for Fulcino.
Already got the Chuck Nagy building up there. Charlie Nagy just had a good major league career.
Yes, he did.
Hey, here's one. Talking about that 20-0 game. 1959, White Sox beat the Kansas City A's 20-6 on this date. They scored 11 runs in the 7th inning on 1 hit. 10 walks, 5 bases loaded walks.
Any idea who was pitching?
3 errors and 1 hit batsman.
Could have been Bud Daly. Coughlin's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Man, afraid to pull the pitcher.
Yeah. There's ball 1. Well, those were some pretty awful Kansas City teams. And of course, they moved then to Oakland. They had non-support in Kansas City, but there was a reason for that. The teams were lousy. 2 balls, no strikes. Good thing baseball put an end to that. Charlie Finley wanted to pull a team out of there and move to another market. 3 balls and no strikes.
And the Oakland A's, they're hurting too financially. Need a new stadium. Can't seem to get any momentum to get anything done.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing situation for years now.
Yeah, and the one thing, they would like to move to San Jose, but the Giants have territorial rights, and they would have to agree to that, which means the A's would have to write an awfully big check, I would think, for that to happen.
Sure. That's a strike, and it's 3-2. Coughlin was ready to discard the bat after first base. We were supposed to say hello to James McPherson in Lufkin.
Oh, that's right. Well, we just did.
His dad's here?
David's here, yeah, Dad.
Good pitch by Fulcino for a strikeout.
His dad was supposed to bring a broom to celebrate the Astros sweep.
Oh.
He's got a lot of work to do before that can happen. It's a good heater from the Husky.
Well, if this is a comeback for a win tonight for the Astros, this team has really done something in this series. Ramirez, the batter, he singled and scored in the first, then grounded out. Then he was hit by a pitch. But the Astros, regardless of what happens, will have back-to-back series wins, and that's a positive. With the Pirates coming in over the weekend.
And Roy Oswalt up tomorrow night for the Astros. He's really been throwing the ball well. And he's up against Paul Maholm, the lefty. Saturday has Wandy Rodriguez against TBA to be announced. And then Sunday, Brett Myers and Charlie Morton. Charlie off to a very sluggish start for the Pirates.
Yeah, he's 0-3 with a 16.55 ERA. And manager John Russell says he's staying with him. Too early in the season to make a move there in his rotation, but there it is for tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6:30 on FS Houston. Maholm 8-4 career against Houston, and Oswalt 13-7 career against Pittsburgh. Pirates were playing well until this series in Milwaukee. And they just got trounced.
8-1, 8-0, and 20-0.
That's a thumping.
That's just
had some good young players, though. Came along for them last year, and they're trying to build on that.
You got to put the rally hat on early tonight. So it works better when we're hitting, though.
2 balls, 2 strikes. We enjoyed being out at the Westbury Community Garden. What was it we did? We added soil, fertilizer, and plant seeds as part of the Play Green campaign today.
A lot of fun with the kids. There's a group from an elementary school out there, some second graders.
Good pitch there as he disguised it. And a sharp break gives him a second. Good range by Tommy Manziel. A diving play on Baker's pop-up to the left field line in the first inning.
You got a shortstop with that kind of range that allows the left fielder to cheat over the other way a little bit. Having more of that alley.
He's on deck. Quintero leads it off in the home 7th inning. Astros down 5-0. They've been shut out 3 times this year. Quintero smacks one deep to left field. Off the wall. Coughlin plays it quickly and holds him to a single. That line drive jumped off the bat of Quintero. He's had some good swings the last few games. But still nothing but singles for the Astros as they continue to get hits in every inning. They left 6 men on.
Well, they get a leadoff single here. See if they can build on that. Manzella then a pinch hitter. Looks like Corey Sullivan will hit for Fulcino.
Brian Moeller in the bullpen.
Get a little traffic from the bottom of the order. Have that lineup turn over. Talked earlier about the Marlins and their bullpen struggles here in the early going. So put a little pressure. Put 2 or 3 on the board here. You feel pretty good about your chances.
It's like somebody's about to start loosening for the Marlins. Sanchez has only thrown 79 pitches. Whoa! Number 80 hit Manzella. Left hand area. Earlier, Hanley Ramirez was hit in the 6th inning.
If you think back to Tommy Manzella's base hit in 3rd inning, he lined a ball out away from him to right field. So I think Sanchez thinking, well, I don't want to do him any favors. So I'm going to try to crowd him with the heater.
Randy St. Clair comes out.
Pitcher starts to get fatigued a little bit. That arm angle will drop, and when you throw a two-seam fastball, it'll have a little extra run. You won't get the sink on it, but you'll get the run, the east-west movement.
Reniel Pinto, a lefty, is warming up. Jeff Fulcino leads for the pinch hitter Corey Sullivan. Fulcino in 1 1/3 innings allowed no hits, no runs with no walks, 2 strikeouts. Good outing for Jeff tonight. Here are tonight's league leaders, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The top major league teams in pinch hitting average are the Giants 353, the Astros 318, and the Dodgers and Marlins 6 runs batted in for Astros pinch hitters. And Corey Sullivan will try to keep that working right here with 2 men on, trailing 5-0. Fulcino did his job well. Ball 1 from Sanchez.
The Astros had 2 runners on board in the 5th. Every other inning, just 1 man reached. In the 5th inning, it happened after 2 were out. So this is clearly their best chance.
Sullivan has a pinch triple.
One's not good enough. Need a crooked number.
1-1. Sullivan has shown aggressive tendencies in these situations. He gets the swings. He's had 14 at bats this year. He has Quintero and Manzella aboard with Moeller in the bullpen. Astros pinch hitters had a .727 slugging percentage. Rips it foul. 1-2.
Nice. Great concentration.
Excellent work. Sullivan puts that one in foul territory and out of play. Corey, a former member of the Colorado Rockies. There's Pinto warming up for the Marlins. He's among those just stunned by the loss of the Rockies president Kelly McGregor a few days ago. Dave Collins used to coach for the Rockies. That's where they're headed next. The Marlins go to Colorado. Little roller to second. Ugla flips. Ramirez up and over, but the throw is wide. Quintero to third. Sullivan to first on a 4-6 force play for out number 1.
Manzella hustling, slowly hit ground ball. Ugla waits back on it. It's taking the neighborhood play to extremes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second base umpire Dana DeMute thought everything was fine.
Yeah, they usually give the middle infielders a little leeway there, but I would not have been surprised that he called him safe.
Michael Bourne bounces one over the third baseman Cantu up the left field line. The Astros are on the board, trailing 5-1. With Cantu pulled in, Bourne just bounced one over him for his second hit of the night. That's his second run batted in.
The formula we were talking about, a little traffic from the bottom of the order and some productive at bats as the lineup turns over. Got Matsui up here with 1 out. The big Puma lurking on deck.
That's hit number 9 for the Astros. They've all been singles. And Matsui is 0 for 3.
I would be tempted to bring Pinto in here if I were Freddie Gonzalez, because you know if well, no matter what Matsui does, you might bring him in to turn Berkman around to the right side. So Matsui switch hitter too. I'd be tempted to bring Pinto in here and let him work to Matsui.
Sullivan takes off for third and makes it as Baker fails to stop the pitch. Good quick reaction by Corey Sullivan. LaRue is warming up in the bullpen for Florida. Bourne stayed at first on a wild pitch.
All in the dirt, and Baker didn't look real good trying to block that one.
One pitch away, meaning a double play ball. Could end the inning. As it slowed down, it looked like. Freddie Gonzalez starters have really pitched well in all 3 games of this series. Rolled off the foot of Matsui, who crumples at home plate. Maybe the right knee. He's got his hand on his right knee. He is really hurting. Rex Jones is out to attend to him, along with manager Brad Mills coming over. Boy, that's a shot off the kneecap. That is really hurting him big time. Oh. That is ugly. He's in considerable pain as Rex Jones works with him. One question is he going to be able to hit? They'll give him time, of course.
And that may be why Freddie Gonzalez didn't go to the lefty. He may have been fearful that Mills would have countered with Keppinger for this at bat anyway, but we may see Keppinger here.
If he can't run in a potential double play situation, pretty tough to have him up there hitting. And he's going to take a little jog step or two up the line to make sure that he's going to be able to run.
This is interpreter Yoshi in the dugout, but I don't think you need an interpreter to say, ow.
Making sure that Yoshi, making sure he's all right, because he may have to bust it up the line on a ground ball. He's hit 2 ground balls and a pop-up today. Now he's back in there with a 1-1 count. Double play depth for Ramirez and Ugla. Fires at the corners, 1 out. The Astros down by 4. Nothing going on with Michael Bourne at first. Boston's batting in the bottom of the 9th with Texas leading 3-0. Line shot caught by Cantu. That's tough luck for Matsui.
That's 2 at-bats in a row. He hit that ball hard last time to the first baseman. Really centered it up. This one a bid for extra bases down the left field line, but Cantu right there to rob him.
Now the change is going to occur for Freddie Gonzalez.
How sweet would that have been? A little off-field double. 2nd and 3rd for the Puma. Oh well.
89 pitches for Sanchez. He leaves in a position to gain his first win of the season. The Marlins continue to rat-tat-tat, but then Felipe Paulino settled down. Now Michael Bourne is able to bounce one over the head of the third baseman Cantu for that RBI single in the 7th. The Astros are on the board for the first time. Cantu's extended his hitting streak to 16 games to open the season. And it's Lance Berkman now batting right-handed. He's had very few right-handed at-bats in spring training and didn't get to hit right-handed in the 2 games at Round Rock. Pinto has no decisions and an ERA of 2.45.
Working for the 6th time. And he hasn't been out there in a while. I don't know if he's been tender or what's been going on with Pinto, but he hasn't pitched in a while. Hello. That's Kaz's knee.
Wow. That is really bad looking. Berkman is 2 for 3 as a left-handed batter tonight. Lance 0 for 2 lifetime against Pinto, and he looks at ball 1.
Pinto, big dude, 6'4", 265. Fastball, slider, changeup are his pitches.
Last appearance 8 days ago. All right, it's been a while. He's warming up Tuesday night. It's a 1-1 count. The Marlin bullpen has an ERA of 5.32. 4 blown saves and 9 opportunities. And the Marlin bullpen has been shaky in this series.
Yeah, there's the old prospector from Arizona.
Berkman pops it back. 1-2. Tuesday night, Tim Wood came in, failed to protect the lead as the Astros got 4 runs off him in 2 innings. He was tagged with a blown save and a loss. And last night, Florida led 4-1. Josh Johnson gave up 3 runs, 2 earned in 6 innings. And Turk Badenhop gave up a couple of runs in 1. Badenhop took the loss last night. Gunner going. And no throw on Bourne as the pitch is ball 2. 2-2. Bourne steals it. His 5th of the year. Michael had a stolen base last night and also in the opener of the series. 3 steals in as many games. Now runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. And in the dirt, Baker blocks it to save a run.
I guess that speaks to Michael Bourne's speed right there, that they decide not to try to make a play on him. He had a lefty on the mound. It's tougher to get a jump. Pinto used a quick slide step with his delivery, but still no throw from Baker. They're going to have a limited chance to get him anyway, and want their infielders to stay put.
3-2 pitch with Carlos Lee on deck. Berkman grounds to shortstop. Ramirez throws to first, and in the 7th inning, the Astros get 1 run on 2 hits. They strand 2, and through 7, it's 5-1 Florida. innings in which he was victimized by errors tonight.
Yeah, we talked about Paulino and the big inning being an issue in his first couple starts. It was an issue for him last year as well, and victimized by that 3-run inning that the Marlins put on him in the first inning. Of course, the error contributed in a big way to that. So it seems like every time Felipe goes out there, he's just this close, to dialing up a gem.
Brian Moeller in 3 games has a 5.79 ERA. Last time out in Chicago on Sunday, pitched really well with the Astros down 2-1 in the 8th inning, a hitless inning. That was his first outing in 9 days. The Astros rallied to win it in the 10th. Jorge Cantu looks at ball 1. Cantu's 1 for 3. 21,802 the paid attendance tonight. Moeller's a former Marlin. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Brian. Brian, 38 years old. Spent from 96 through part of 02 with Detroit, then a portion of a year with Cincinnati. He was with Florida in 05 and 06 in between his 2 stints with Houston. It's 1-2. Texas and C.J. Wilson shut out Boston 3-0, beating Clay Buchholz. Darren Oliver got his first save.
Darren Oliver passed through here about a decade ago, didn't he?
That's crazy. I thought he was done when he was here.
It's Moyer-esque.
2-2. Cincinnati rallied with 4 in the 7th and overcame the Dodgers 8-5 as Mike Leake got his first major league win. Francisco Cordero getting save number 6. Jay Bruce hit his 3rd home run. The Reds will be in town next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Strikeout of Cantu.
Good tight sliders. Brian featuring in that sequence.
Well, that's a good location.
See, Darren Oliver was here in 2004.
Okay.
Made a couple of starts. Just briefly.
6 years later,
9 games, yeah.
Saving games after being a long man who hardly ever pitched when he was here.
2000 with the Rangers, he had an ERA of 7.42. In 2001, 6.02. The year we had him, he was also with the Marlins, and he combined to have a 5.95. So, and it's understandable that we thought he was probably done. But since then, he's pitched really, really well. The Mets, Anaheim, and now starting with the Rangers for his 3rd tour of duty with the Rangers. This is where it started for him back in 1993.
Yeah. 2-0 to Ugla. He has a double and an RBI. Up the middle, Manzella gobbles it up. 2 down. Astros have out-hit the Marlins 9-6. When Houston comes up in the bottom of the 8th, it'll be Lee, Pence, and Blum.
Manzella showed you his range on that pop-up into the outfield and showing very good range up the middle there.
Marlins have a right-hander warming up. Still LaRue. He's been warming for quite some time. John Baker has walked twice, and that pop-up to Manzella, first time up. That's strike 1 to Baker. The Astros were 0-6 on their first homestand. 2-0 so far on this 9-game homestand. 1-1. It's Talbot in Cleveland. Stop Minnesota 8-1 at Minnesota. Andy Marte hit his first homer. Well, that's a beautiful ballpark.
Where's that one? Pitch tracks.
Looked pretty good, didn't it? 2-1.
Said it was outside. If I can speak, I didn't say it was outside. It indicated that it was outside.
We want to give it cartoon voices. A roller out to Manzella's right. Ends up being out number 3. Bottom of the 8th coming. Astros trail the Marlins 5-1.
So you can go to the website and vote for your favorite Astros as well.
Freddie Gonzalez has made changes here with a 5-1 lead, bringing in Wes Helms to play third base. Batting in the 8th spot, Jorge Cantu has moved across the diamond to first base. Gabby Sanchez leaving the game. And the new pitcher is Chris LaRue in for the second time in this 3-game series.
Yeah, big, tall righty, 6'6", 210. From Montreal, played for a Canadian national team. He must have played for Terry Poole.
Oh, yeah.
He's been running that club for a while, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Carlos Lee likes the first pitch and fouls at strike one. Carlos 0 for 3. LaRue pitched a scoreless inning 2 nights ago, giving up 1 hit. LaRue started the year AAA New Orleans. In Montreal, went to Winthrop College.
Fastball, slider. He's got a good arm. Up there in the mid-90s with his fastball.
Burke Badenhop has been in 6 games, along with the closer Leo Nunez. And Freddie Gonzalez was saying Tuesday night, we can't use the hopper, as he calls him, every night. So he's looking for more options. He turns to LaRue, who was a 7th-round pick in 2005. LaRue's a converted catcher. It's 2-2. Faced the Astros once at Florida last year, and he gave up a run on a pinch RBI single by Darren Erstad. 2 years ago, he was pitching at Class A Jupiter.
Hanging slider there. He's up above the happy zone. And last year he spent the bulk of the year with their AA club at Jacksonville in the Southern League. Got a 2.72 ERA there. Good strikeout numbers.
Well, he's really moved up the ladder quickly. At least the last couple of years. Tap the shortstop. Ramirez takes care of the first out here in the 8th inning. Hunter Pence singled in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Jeff Blum's on deck. Johan Santana and the Mets knocked off the Cubs 5-2, beating Tom Gorzolani. K-Rod got his first save. How long do you think Zambrano will stay in the bullpen for the Cubs?
I don't know. It's hard to say. There's a lot of speculation as to what that move was all about. He's actually, he wasn't throwing very well in his first start. His velocity was down. But his numbers the last couple of starts were pretty good. So some people are saying, well, Lou's doing it to motivate him. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a real need there. And they're getting Lilly back.
Up the middle, Ramirez. 2 outs.
And I think that Lou's also thinking, they were expected to win last year and they didn't, and they're after a slow start this year. I think there's a real sense of urgency in Chicago, and I think he wants to just shake things up.
Yankees got a triple play. Jay Happ on the DL with forearm problem. Dice is in the Red Sox rotation.
That triple play in '68 was Dooley Womack to Bobby Cox to Mickey Mantle.
Ooh. Phenomenal memory, JD.
Yeah, I was watching it on TV. Remember it well. Phil Rizzuto. Holy cow.
To Bobby Cox. Jeff Blum 1 for 3. We don't hear many tales of him as a player. Legendary manager.
No, actually, he blew out his knee. He came up as a third baseman with the Yankees. Matt Galani actually roomed with Bobby Cox at AAA, I think.
Did you see what the Braves did after the walk-off by Nate McLeod? That was different. They did not celebrate on the field. They were all down the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, we've seen players give a player a silent treatment before, and they stay in the dugout and they don't come out. But they actually ran and hid in the tunnel on him.
This roller goes foul.
Across his home plate with a game-winning run, and there's nobody there. All his teammates are gone.
1-2 to Blummer. He's really a guy who's out in the community. Gave up his time this morning. Do some planting. He enjoys that kind of thing. Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence were in today's Grand Slam for Youth baseball field dedication ceremony in Galveston, along with Milo Hamilton, Graydon McLean, Ed Wade. Blum strikes out, and that ends the 8th inning with the Marlins on top 5-1. Getting a rough time from those White Sox fans, but yes, a very memorable time. He said, I really was in the moment and I couldn't enjoy it then, but now that I look back on it, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Why are the wives in left field? What's up with that?
We were out there.
I wouldn't know. I didn't go.
That's where they put us.
Even the players' wives in left field?
Yes, sir.
Who's responsible for that? MLB take over that?
talk to the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, I think MLB.
Major League Baseball should make sure that there's.
They run the World Series.
Yeah. They're the ones that made us close the roof.
Yeah, that's right. Cody Ross with a little tapper to second base. Matsui throws him out, and Moeller is retired 4 in a row. I think this is
open the roof, whatever it was. I know there was roof controversy back then.
Yeah. This is a good thing, the way they're using the bullpen this year. I really like trying to spread the work around in different situations, and the way it works out, not wanting to lose. Brad Mills, of course, would love to have a save situation, but if it does turn out that way, Lindstrom and Lyon needed a day off anyway. So not that he would have used them in this situation, but just kind of spreading the work around, getting Fulcino in for the first time in a few days. Moeller needs to pitch, and they're pitching well. There's Helms taking strike 1.
Yeah, I think it's easier for a manager to use his bench because you start the game and you say, okay, I'm going to give this guy a start, rest this guy. But the bullpen, it's dictated by what's going on in the game. So sometimes you get into these situations where somebody hasn't been out there in a long while, and a manager will trying to find the right situation to get a guy in. They're lucky in that they have a guy like Moeller who can go a long time without pitching and still come out and be really sharp.
Very much so. 0-2 to Helms. He looks at that one for a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Helms was in the starting lineup and went 2 for 4 with an RBI Tuesday night. Wow. Some nice action on that strikeout pitch for Brian Moeller's second strikeout. He's got it going tonight. Did not hit a ball hard off him.
Last night the bullpen was outstanding. Wilton Lopez worked 2 very good innings, picking up his first major league win. Lyon Lindstrom coming in behind him.
Now a nice round of applause for former Astro Mike Lamb. We just saw him on that World Series home run. These fans remember. And Mike gave Houston some very good years. 0 for 6 pinch hitting with an RBI this season. And there's strike 1. He's had 1 start this season. Overall 0 for 9 with an RBI.
Yeah, his 1 start was against Roy Halladay.
Oh, thanks a lot. On that home run we saw in the World Series, he was saying last night, well, I had played with Aaron Rowan before, and when that ball went up in the air and I saw Aaron Rowan running for it, I thought, this guy will sacrifice his body to catch this ball, so it had better be over the fence or I'm out. And he breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Rowan couldn't catch it. Fly ball to Bourne in center. 6 straight retired by Brian Moeller. Bottom of the 9th coming. Bottom of the order for the Astros. 5-1 Marlins. Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Southwest Airlines. to choose from there. And inside the ballpark, it's 5-1. The Marlins lead. Fans are dancing and hoping for something to dance about on that scoreboard here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Freddie Gonzalez has gone to his closer.
Went to the Elaine Bennis School of Dance. Yeah, not a safe situation, but Nunez taking the hill for the Marlins. He's pitched 6 times this year. He's got a win and 3 saves and an ERA of 0. He's only allowed 1 hit.
Nunez, 26 years old, from the Dominican Republic, will face Humberto Quintero. He singled in the 7th inning and came around to score. The Astros run. He's 1 for 3. There's a live fastball at 95 for strike 1. Nunez had 4 wins, 26 saves last year in 33 opportunities and 14 holds. Matt Lindstrom and he shared the closer's job. Lindstrom got hurt.
Throws that 2-seam runner at 95 and then paints the outside corner with a slider.
Nunez began his career in the Pirate organization, signing as a free agent in 2000. Then he was traded to Kansas City for Benito Santiago. Florida got him in a trade for Mike Jacobs in December of 08. 1-2.
And an international flavor for the pitchers for the Marlins here tonight. A couple of Venezuelans, a Canadian, and now a Dominican.
Yeah. Chris LaRue, the Canadian, worked a spotless inning with a strikeout. Daniel Pinto 1/3 of an inning, retiring Lance Berkman with a couple men on. Strike 3 on Quintero. He disagrees with the C.B. Buckner call.
It's the 3rd strikeout by Marlin pitching tonight. It's like a changeup or something. It just floated over the plate, top of the strike zone.
Hugh pretty vociferous in his reaction to the call. Jason Michaels on deck as Tommy Manziel bats. He has a single and he's been hit by a pitch.
That's the 9th inning, so you don't have to be political with the umpire anymore if you're the catcher.
Right. Umpiring crew will be leaving town after tonight. No carryover effect to the next series starting tomorrow night.
I don't know how CB grades out. They rank the umpires now. I don't think he rates really highly other players in terms of his strike zone. But he's a guy who's he's good in his attitude. He's not harping back at players. He lets you have your say.
1-2.
Much of the criticism you hear from players about umpires is that some of the guys can be a little antagonistic. Say one thing to them and they go off on you. Which would be a good thing for our pitch track. He said we should put an animated voice to it. We should get like Bruce Fremming or somebody to, and every time I question the call and then Fox Tracks proves me wrong, we have Bruce's voice going, the ball's outside.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Stop whining.
Well, Bruce is retired now, so maybe he would do that for us. Is he in a supervisory role with the commissioner's office?
I believe he is.
Okay, then he couldn't do it. We could get somebody else who's retired. Ed Montague was on a radio show the other day. He's retiring. Strikeout of Manzella. Nunez struck out the first 2 here in the 9th inning. And the Marlins trying to salvage 1 game of this 3-game series. They're 1 out away from doing that. Jason Michaels coming up to pinch hit now. Brian Moeller, who was really spectacular. 6 up, 6 down for Moeller with 2 strikeouts. Michaels with 6 career pinch homers is high on the list of active players. This year he's 2 for 4 with a homer as a pinch hitter. 2 runs batted in. Overall hitting .308, 4 hits and 13 at bats. And he gets an off-speed pitch. Pirates are here tomorrow night to open a 3-game weekend series. Roy Oswald on the mound.
Oh my, that almost fell down throwing that one.
1-1. Freddie Gonzalez club moves on to take on the Colorado Rockies tomorrow night.
Yes, think about his body language. He's got folks in the Marlin dugout concerned.
Yeah, they come right out. Freddie and Randy St. Clair and the Marlins trainer.
I think he caught his cleat or something and almost lost his balance when he finished that delivery. Spun out.
Left foot slipped.
Yeah, maybe felt a little tug in the back or groin or something at the end of it.
It's a big old crossover step.
Pirates are probably here already, right? They played this afternoon.
They should be here. Pretty big stride, JD.
It really comes flying. That backside comes flying through. Not a comfortable at bat, especially for a right-handed hitter with that little drop down delivery he features.
You bet. 1-1 to Jason Michaels. Brad Mills' club has won 4 in a row. Held to 9 singles tonight. 1-2. Astros have stranded 8. Astros came into this game hitting .224, having scored 40 runs in 14 games. Last few games, though, they had picked it up with the bats. Tonight, pretty quiet with Sanchez spacing those 9 singles. And a strikeout gives Nunez a strikeout of the side to end this ball game. Final score: Marlins 5, Astros 1.